Hello, hello. What is going on, guys? I hope everyone's trying to have a fantastic day. I understand the past day and a half has been kind of crazy. The Eagles are undefeated no more. And I want to give you some updates. This might be a little bit of a long video. I want to give you some updates on the Philadelphia Eagles, some things that are interesting enough for this week and what could happen this week. I know a lot of us have issues with some of the coaching and decision-making defensively that we definitely have to talk about, but to go over some of the things from the game, some updates with outside the NFC East, some other things as well that we definitely have to talk about that's definitely going to affect the Eagles. The Eagles release a player off the practice squad. What are they doing? There's a lot of stuff going on, so I want to get through this as fast as I possibly can, and let's get straight into it.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
What is going on, guys? So I want to go over just a few things for today. And the one thing I got to say is this, man. When you come off of a Thursday night game against the Texans, which that Texans game on Thursday night, I think was the starting point of kind of figuring out the Eagles on that blueprint. You know, Jordan Davis wasn't playing, and I think the Texans started to figure us out to see, what they could do against this deal. I think, honestly, the Cowboys did it first because the Cowboys, they would double Hargrave, double Fletcher Cox, and then kind of use that running back one-on-one with our linebackers. And I think the Texans did the same thing in that game. 139, I think 168 on the ground for the Texans running backs in general. And then you go into this game against Washington. They must have ran the ball 38 to 46 times. I don't even know how many times they ran the ball, keeping some of these running backs fresh throughout the whole entire game. You only blitzed one time. You didn't do one stunt. I mean, I didn't see a stunt. I saw one blitz by Chauncey Gardner-Johnson when the Washington Commanders were in the red zone, and that was it. I mean, that was pretty much it. There was no adjustments in this game, which we're all really pissed off about. What is going to happen this week? Is Jonathan Gannon going to get reprimanded? Okay, if I go to my job when I used to work at the grocery store and I come late for work and I do a bad job at work and these, and the bosses don't yell at me, the bosses don't reprimand me, I'm just going to keep doing the same thing because I think I'm going to get away with it every week, every day of my, my job that I'm working at. And because Gannon has won games with this stupid bend, don't break system that he's been using every single week, is he going to get reprimanded this week? And I don't know if it's going to happen, guys. Like, at this point, if Vic Fangio is a consultant for this team, then do something. Because I'm looking down the road right now. I have to worry. This is what we have to worry about. I have to worry about every quarterback, every running back. I have to worry about a mediocre to a below-average quarterback every single week. I have to worry about every running back every single week. Okay, and it's just not enough. And it's like we're giving way too much respect to these fucking quarterbacks, which I can't stand, getting no pressure. If your defensive line is struggling with a four-man pass rush, why the hell are you not helping that? There were times I saw three of our linebackers in coverage, but they weren't covering anybody. There were times where they just dropped back for obviously some help, but you could be using one or two of those guys to blitz or do something, stack some guys in the box. I don't care what you do. They did absolutely nothing. The linebackers were non-existent. Defensive line was non-existent besides the strip sack. Really, the strip sack. I think there was another sack, a sack for Hargrave later in the game, but the strip sack on Josh Sweat, Marlon T with the fumble recovery, and that led to the Jalen Hurts rushing touchdown. It's just not enough. So if we're hearing about Vic Fangio being a consultant for the Eagles, what is he consulting? Or does he have enough power? Does he have enough say? You cannot look at these statistics, what Washington did to us this past Monday night, and tell me that Gannon is not going to be reprimanded or talked to from Howie Roseman and the rest of this coaching staff. There's no way that he gets away this week. I mean, if he gets away with this week and says, oh, it's just a bad game or whatever the case may be, obviously, in these press conferences, they're not going to tell us the truth. They're not going to throw anybody under the bus. But I hope to God I see a report come out this week that changes are made at defensive coordinator. Not that Gannon's not going to be defensive coordinator whatsoever, because that's definitely not going to happen. And most likely, they're probably not going to fire him after one loss. But you could lose every single game after this week. I am not biased, guys. I am realistic as realistic could be with this team. they could lose every single game. And it's hard to like be like, well, Joe, they're 8-1. How do you say they're going to lose every game? They're going to lose defensively every game. And guess what? Whatever happens, like defensively, time of possession for Washington was ridiculous. They were allowing probably two 16-play drives. I mean, just wasting so much time. Cornerbacks off the ball, 15 yards. Josiah Scott sucks. He's covering Josiah Scott on the nickel. He literally letting these receivers off the line, free-handedly letting them off the line, patting them on the shoulder when they get off the line. Not trying to slow them down, not trying to give them a big push to at least slow them down on the route to give some time for this pass rush or something. They let these guys off the line. Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, Curtis Samuel killed us. It was four straight 20-plus completions to Curtis Samuel. Ridiculous. Okay, so I'm not blaming this on the players at all because if a cornerback has to sit back, if Slay has to sit back 15 yards with Terry McLaurin running full speed at him, and he's going to start moving when he breaks his route, he can't cover that. But the one time they had a man-to-man in the end zone, obviously a little bit of safety help, but Slay had a really, really good, covered really well. And that was to McLaurin for a touchdown, which didn't happen. It was incomplete. So that's what I'm talking about. It's nerve-wracking. I mean, it's ridiculous that we got to fix this because we're having such a good season right now. Eagles are top of the NFC East. Eagles are top of the NFC still right now. There is time to fix these mistakes. It's better that this shit happens early than it happens later on. Okay, otherwise, we're going to lose every game. Offensively, we'll score, but defensively, teams are going to score every drive. Look at the running backs you have to face the next few weeks. I mean, you still got to face Jonathan Taylor. You got to face Derrick Henry. You got to face Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. You got to face Saquon Barkley 2 times. Still. That's what's so freaking annoying. And I have to worry about this every single week. I hope changes are made because I'm telling you, if Gannon just isn't talked to all week and he just runs his defense again, if they lose against the Colts and Matt Ryan with a interim, let me tell you something, they lose against Jeff Saturday that just got his first win as an interim head coach with Matt Ryan and Jonathan Taylor, it's already enough. I can believe that Matt Ryan is going to throw on us. I can believe they're not going to get pressure on him, and I can believe that they're respecting, if they're going to respect Davis Mills and Kenny Pickett and some of these other guys, I'm telling you right now, it's just ridiculous. It's going to get worse before it gets better. And hopefully this is the last time. Hopefully this is the only time it's as worse as it's going to get because this is early. They have a lot of time right now to fix some things. We need Vic Fangio to be a part of this defense because it is just not working out. Howie Roseman has handed Gannon a brand new defense on a silver platter. It's already enough Jordan Davis isn't playing. It's already enough Avonte Max isn't playing. We won a game without Avonte Max this year. But you could compensate for these things. You're not aggressive, not even 1% aggressive in these games. And you're allowing them to roll down the field on you for 16 plays. Your defense is tired. The game is over for your defense if it's a 16-play drive. It's done. And you had 2 of those in that Washington game. So I'm looking for a change here. Not that they're going to fire him. Not that they're going to just move on or they're just, at least they're going to have to, Fangio needs to have some say in this and kind of dictate what they should do. Because if they don't do this, guys, they're going to lose every game. They are going to lose every game, and they might not even be in the playoffs, guys. No, I'm not even kidding. Not even kidding. People were telling me a few weeks ago when I said, watch, they keep doing this defense. Someone's going to figure us out. We're going to lose a game because of something really stupid, and we've been figured out defensively. We have been figured out. We have been figured out because we have been doing nothing defensively. Not that Washington was good. It's because literally Washington just had the upper hand on us not doing any adjustments, really. That's why they won the damn game, okay? So that's what I have to say about the Vic Fangio, Jonathan Gannon situation. You better fix it this week because they lose against the Colts. I am going to have a breakdown. I'm going to have a mental breakdown over this. I'm not even kidding. It's going to get that bad. It was already enough that you're playing horrible in this game, okay? Not defensively playing horrible. Ooh, now that all of that negative energy is oozing onto our offense. Our offense didn't look any better in this game. Jalen Hurts had it was a fine game. It was a pick, certain things happen, drops, 3 takeaways, it just happens. But I don't blame Hurts for this game at all. Like whatever play they call is what they call, and Hurts has to follow it, and that's it. I had no problem with Jalen Hurts in this game. Your defense is literally getting walked on the whole entire game. What is he supposed to do? Between the whole Dallas Goedert situation as of right now, that was probably pissed me off the most in this game, I have to say. Dallas Goedert is hurt with a shoulder injury. He probably will be out 2 to 4 weeks, probably. He'll miss a little bit of time. It might be more than that. I don't know. But I have a lot of faith in Jack Stahl. No, Jack Stahl is not Dallas Goedert, but now this is going to be the time where they're probably going to move Tyree Jackson up to the active roster, most likely. So they still have 3 tight ends. I do like Togiai is another one they can move up from practice squad to active roster. They'll probably move up Togiai. Togiai had a really good preseason. Jack Stahl got his another catch. They're still throwing to him every week. He's not Dallas Goedert, but he's very reliable. He might not get all the yak yards, and sometimes he does. He's a big body tight end, and Calcaterra's got most of the speed. So I think they can utilize both these tight ends very well if Dallas Goedert is out for a few weeks, which is definitely going to hurt this offense, but I think they could compensate for that injury as well. I never really liked Jack Stahl, but they kind of been throwing to him really started since that Cowboys game and getting him more acclimated and more into this offense a little bit, not just as a great blocker, but as a receiving tight end. And then, have Calcaterra behind him, the rookie right behind him, because I want to see how this tight end group kind of develops going into next offseason in 2023. And we kind of find out what's going on with that, because some of these, on top of, and I'm not a guy that blames the refs for a lot of stuff, and there's going to be comments saying, oh, you're blaming it, whatever the case may be. If you miss this as a referee on national television, this really shows me that they really want the Eagles to lose. They just wanted the Eagles to lose this damn game, even more than how much they were failing this game, okay? Not even just that, but, that was ridiculous with that face mask. Totally, literally since the start of the tackle, he had his face mask and brought him down the whole entire time with the face mask. Fumble. No wonder he's going to fumble the damn ball, because you're literally overextending his head all the way down and literally going to break his damn neck, which he could have been seriously hurt at that moment, because the health is more important than anything else. You can't let that happen. The Eagles would have scored on that damn drive. They would have got us a 10, 15-yard penalty on that. We would have scored. That was one drive they could have scored, and we were screwed over by that. Okay, screwed over by that. Not just that, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, the hit on the sideline, inbounds when he got hit. He had 1 foot inbounds when he got hit. They called a flag on that for a late hit out of bounds. BS on that. Quez Watkins, another, and this, Quez Watkins, is this from not playing him, is not giving him enough shots, whatever the case may be, gets a big reception, gets back up, and then fumbles the damn ball when he gets hit. He's got to get ready. If he just stayed on the ground, would have scored on that drive. So the Eagles had opportunities, even though the whole team was playing like absolute garbage, mostly this defense. Okay, so it's a tough pill to swallow when you see plays like that. I was so excited when they got Quez into the offense a little bit. They had him on like a end around with Quez. He's got so much speed. They got to use him more. I really want him more into this offense, because he's got a lot of speed and a lot of juice, really, because he's really not into these games that much the past 5-6 weeks. He hasn't really done much. Few passes, but that's it. And then obviously the Brandon Graham thing. Heineke takes the knee, and Graham kind of goes to tackle him and then kind of stops himself and grabs Heineke to kind of pull him back up off the ground, and it was too late after that. Really, after that, it was pretty much too late. It was just rubbing salt in the wound at this point. Not only the Eagles sucking the whole entire night, but having to deal with just these mistakes and obviously the refs just I don't ever blame refs for anything, but those calls were ridiculous, plain on sight. And just Washington just had it their way the whole time, on top of all of the other things that they did well against us. Respect to Washington for winning this game, because they did the right thing. They beat us. They had 10 days to get ready for us, and they took advantage of it, guys. They had 10, 11 days to get ready. They took advantage of it. They had a game plan, and Gannon did absolutely nothing but sit there and say, oh, I'm just going to run the same shit every single week, and yeah, it's going to work. No, it's not going to work. You just embarrassed this team pretty much. Okay, next on the news as of right now, Now, it looks like the wide receiver on the practice squad audit, Tate, has been released off the practice squad. So, but at the same time of that even happening, it looks like the Saints released running back Jordan Howard. Now, this might not mean anything whatsoever, okay? They released 2 running backs. Jordan Howard, obviously, with the Eagles in 2019, had a little bit of a late signing in 2020 where he was dealing with these stinger injuries where he gets hurt once, he's out for multiple weeks, and that's what kind of killed us. I miss having Jordan Howard around. I really wanted him to get extended back in 2019. Are they interested in another running back? I'm tired of seeing Boston Scott not get enough reps. At this point, does he even deserve to play? I don't know. Kenneth Gainwell. Kenneth Gainwell's getting some snaps here and there. Miles Sanders had 6 yards in the first half. This is the second week, guys, where they are probably more than that, where they ran with Miles Sanders. Last week against the Texans on Thursday night, 16 yards in the first half. First half of the game versus Washington on Monday night, he had 6 yards on 1 carry. It's disgusting. Like, you rave about Miles Sanders. Nick Sirianni raves about him. Oh, he's our number one back. He's our number one back. But, like, this reminds me of last year, dude. Not using Devontae Smith as, like, treating him like a number one. They're treating Miles Sanders like he just got brought up from the practice squad, dude. And you don't start running with him until the end of the third quarter? It's just ridiculous. So they don't even use Trey Sermon. Oh, they want to trade for Trey Sermon so badly from the 49ers. Then he gets released off waivers. Eagles pick him up off waivers, and then they used him for 2 times in the Jaguars game. Whoa. And 2 runs that were really good. And they just stopped using him. They just stopped. Yeah. Fantastic, right? So I don't know if they're interested. I would rather get a bruiser back. I don't know. Boston Scott should move to special teams. You know what I mean? So the next segment to this whole entire thing is, if you're not going to use Boston Scott as a running back, put him at punt return, because I cannot stand watching Britton Covey anymore. I'm done. The guy's allergic to open space. I've said this a million times. The guy is too raw. The guy needs another offseason. The guy just needs to get better. His vision's not great. And obviously from a guy from Utah that had really good vision on special teams and really played special teams his whole career, kick return, punt return, you name it, he's done it. Okay, it's just not working for me anymore. Like, make a damn change. Changing a punt return ain't no big deal. Changing two linebackers, changing multiple positions on your defense or your offense is definitely a big change. Changing one guy in your special teams, obviously Nick wasn't happy about special teams, but we shouldn't be happy about. We haven't been happy for special teams since the first week. Get Devin Allen a shot. Something. If you put Britton Covey back to practice squad, he cannot play anymore this season because they have brought him up. They brought Covey up 3 times. You can only bring up a practice squad player 3 times. And then you got to make the decision if he stays on the active roster or goes back to practice squad. If you put him back to practice squad, he will not be able to play in a game ever again this season. And so be it. Just Michael Clay pisses me off as it is. So if I'm going to the firings of next year, Michael Clay is definitely getting fired. Okay, that guy, if I want to talk about a coach getting fired other than Gannon, it's going to be Michael Clay at special teams coordinator because he sucks. Okay, just horrible. So Covey is definitely going to go. So that's what I'm saying, dude. If you're looking at the Jordan Howard, do the Eagles have interest in bringing a guy like him back, which I think Jordan Howard would be fine. I mean, in a rotation, running back by committee, use him for those chunk yards if they want to do that. Because Boston Scott, they barely use him. They use Gainwell a little bit. They use Gainwell a lot more than Scott. But if Scott really got no say, Scott is a wasted roster spot at this point. They barely even do anything with him. So he had a couple runs. Like, he didn't do much. But is he here just to run 2 times a game, 3 times a game? No. Like, I know as a number 3, it's not going to be much. But damn, like, you're barely even using him for anything. That was before he got to the Eagles, years back. He was with the Saints. He was a punt returner. He was a kick returner. I mean, he was the main running back for Drew Brees. I mean, one of the main running backs for Drew Brees. I mean, Jesus, man, like, they got to do something more with him. It's just not enough. It's not enough right now. So the whole Jordan Howard situation could happen, and, we'll see. I mean, look, this news happened almost at the same time, so who knows if the Eagles are talking to Jordan Howard as of right now. The Eagles are 8-1. A lot of time to fix things up. And lastly, I want to talk about the players in general. Like, all of the players between Slay, A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, like, how is this team going to respond? A.J. Brown was pretty much like, it didn't really even bother him. Like, I'm glad this 17-0 talk is over with. He says, I'm glad this is all over with. And I think that was just so much pressure on this team. And I think they could, I don't blame these players for it, man. Like, A.J. Brown had the worst game. Had the worst game of his, probably the worst game of the year. I mean, he only had like one catch. I mean, that's really it. He looked like he was out of it. Devontae Smith had a touchdown and a few catches, so Devontae Smith had a better game. A.J. Brown had his worst game of the year, so I'm not going to put too much on him. It's just that this whole offense just looked sluggish. They looked, I mean, it's like a mini bye week. I don't know what it was, man. It was 100% the coaching. There's no doubt about it. It's just, there was just something missing from this game, and it just way too many mistakes. And I think now that, Big Play Slay said, the pressure's off. I don't give a crap. Thank God we're not undefeated anymore. We learned from this. Jalen Hurts says, well, how do we respond to this? I think that head coach and Nick Sirianni will respond, will help this team respond going into next week against the Colts. But this defense has to be fixed. I don't really worry about Steichen in this offense too much. But your defense is getting pummeled the whole entire game. Your offense is barely hitting the field. It's like your offense barely had any possession, less than 6 minutes in the first half. Your offense had less than 6 minutes of offense in the first half. Dude, that's just insane. That just shows you, like, what affected this defense oozed into the offense, the negativity, the vibe just wasn't there. Okay, so that's pretty much it, guys. That's pretty much the news on what's going on. I know it's a long video. It's over 21 minutes already. I hate to make these videos long, but just to discuss everything, it is early enough for this team to get back. It's one loss. Like, at the end of the day, like, I'm not killing myself over it. I'm not, like, depressed over it. I could care less about it. Yeah, the loss sucks, but this is what they needed. At the end of the day, I think this is what this team needed. Okay, they have faced every type of adversity. They've been tie at the half in games. We have been forced to, it's been forced on the defense to get a turnover, to win a game. They've been down by 2 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts has won games with his arm. I mean, they've done almost everything. They've almost dealt with every type of adversity. The only adversity they haven't dealt with yet is, what is this team going to look like coming off a loss? And I would like to say, yeah, they're going to look great. Offensively, I think they're going to be juiced up. Defensively, like, you got to make some changes, man. And it's Gannon, 100%. I don't blame Slay. I don't blame the production from Curtis Samuel. Besides, Josiah Scott just sucks in general because they have no backup nickel corner. But Slay, Bradbury, and Slay, they target Slay more than anything. Jahan Dotson, Curtis Samuel, and Terry McLaurin, man, like, they killed us. And you're playing that soft zone. You're not going to get anywhere with that, moving these corners off the line. Like, you know what I mean? You're not playing man coverage. No stunts. One blitz from Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson got a pick in that game. It still didn't do anything. 6 picks for the year. He leads the whole league in interceptions. Okay, but that doesn't matter. Specific stats for players don't even matter, man. The team stats is what matters. What Gannon does with these players is what matters. Okay, because I know that Jalen Hurts is a game manager, and I think they let him have more control of this offense when he sees something that's not right. If the coach calls a play in, he sees something else on the field that he wants to call, he will call it based on how the defense is lining up. I think that's what's really important. So let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought of the updates, the game in general. I understand nobody wants to talk about it, but it's really important. Do you think that Jonathan Gannon will get reprimanded this week? He better. He better not get away with this. And like, if Sirianni just says, it's only one game, like he'll coach better next week. Nah, no way, dude. No way. The Eagles have bailed him out. The players have bailed him out in games where we could have lost some games. Eagles could have won this game against Washington. 2 drives. Obviously, a stupid penalty fumble on Dallas Goedert. A stupid late hit where the defense could have got off the field on Chauncey Gardner. The evidence is all there. Plain and simple. And it actually was reported by the refs. The NFL talked to the refs. The refs have reported that they did not see visible face mask on Dallas Goedert. It's crazy, bro. I think the world wanted the Eagles to lose. The world wanted the Eagles to lose. They wanted the Eagles to lose on Monday night so badly at home, and they got what they wished for. This team is going to learn from their mistakes, but if Gannon, the only thing that bothers me right now, if Gannon is not reprimanded, if he doesn't get talked to this week to change, if Vic Fangio has no say in this defense, we're going to lose every fucking game the rest of the season. Just the truth. But all right, video's long enough. I'll see you guys on the next one. Shake Squad up, follow side. Peace out, guys. Peace.